What up guys, Boomsy here, and today I got another video, or actually I like to say another clusterfuck video about social justice warriors and feminists. I hope you enjoyed the video and please give a thumbs up, that would be really amazing, and maybe you would subscribe to me because I'm still here new to YouTube, that would be really awesome. Alright guys, cheers.
All right, coming up later in the broadcast, after Dr. Jerome Corsi joins us, and I should add the Motor City Madman, Ted Nugent's going to be joining us. He's getting ready to probably run for the Senate, is Rainbow Snitch. Rainbow Snitch.
Shut up, you white male. It's Rainbow Snatch.
Okay, I'm sorry, but she's the latest social justice warrior. We should probably get you a chair in there because folks can't see your sign. Here, let me have it. Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate you joining us.
You're racist, xenophobic.
Okay, well, we finally got one of you to come on the show. You look a little bit like Millie Weaver, but we'll see what happens. Seriously, we're going to do an interview with you a little bit later. And how are you doing, young lady?
Well, you know what? I just want to say that all you Trump supporters are a bunch of racist, xenophobic rednecks.
I've never heard that before.
Really?
I noticed that you've got some underarm hair.
You need to address me by my proper pronoun, okay? Because you can't call me he or she. I want to be called Z. So if you don't call me Z, then you're going to watch out and see what happens.
Why don't we just call you something like sweetheart?
Nope. Excuse me, but that is extremely racist
about,
Does this bitch even know what racism means?
bigoted to call me sweetheart.
how about cupcake?
I identify as a multisexual, trans-dimensional, binary being.
For fuck's sake, I mean, that's one fucked up gender. Like, I understand you have gender fluid, gender bullshit, but this is definitely the most fucked up gender.
Okay.
Do you agree with this Texas person where men are now on women's baseball teams and track teams that are beating, but also women that identify as men are taking steroids and then competing on girls' teams, like in this Daily Mail article, transgender on steroids wins girls' state wrestling tournament. Do you think maybe I should be able to win women's arm wrestling tournaments?
I think that the whole system is completely rigged against women and that this is just an institution set up to try and oppress women, okay? And all you people out there that are just talking, bad about Muslims, you guys are just bigoted people. You should,
Hey, let me show you that. In New York, they're actually, the feminist groups are saying Allah Akbar, doing prayer time in New York by the thousands. They're chanting Allah Akbar. But in real Islamic countries, women can't even go out without hoods on their heads.
Yeah, because people like you in America are completely racist and they are too afraid for themselves to come out in the streets and wear their hijabs, and that all women in America should be able to wear a hijab.
But you're not answering my question. They cut women's genitals off in many Islamic countries. They sell them into slavery. They can pour acid on their face. They murder them if they talk back. They can't drive cars in like 6 different Islamic countries. They can't even go shopping.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what do you mean? Women in America don't have any rights, and women in other countries, I mean, they have more rights than in America. In America, women don't have any rights. Women don't have equal pay with men, and men have all the good paying jobs and all the high paying positions. Women don't have equal rights, and we demand equal rights.
Why are modern feminists so into Islamic stuff and like wearing hijabs?
Because, Trump said that all Muslims are terrorists, and, that's why we need to support Muslims and let them come into the country, and we don't need to vet anybody. Well,
Trump never said that, but the Pope did say that there, quote, are no Muslim terrorists, period. It's impossible. Now that's not true.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting these numbers from, but there are no Muslim terrorists. Okay, the only terrorists in this country are the white males. The white males are the terrorists in this country, okay?
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
Statistics don't show that.
Well, people, anybody can.
I'm going to ask you again. Should a man be able to play on a women's football team?
No. because women need to have.
Hold on, we're going to be
their
right
own
back. We're going to be right
safe
back.
Emma, hi. You're neither male nor female, right?
That's true. I identify as non-binary, which
Right.
means that I'm neither male nor female, and correspondent to that, I use the they, them pronoun.
And you say gender roles are damaging our society, so we need to think very carefully about language, yeah?
Yes, so a lot of our social selves are codified and encultured in the language that we use. We really use it to construct our entire society. And what's certainly true is that there is a huge variance of gender presentation and gender identity within humankind. There isn't simply
Humankind,
men
you said,
and
yeah.
women. Exactly, humankind in
see,
place of
let's start.
mankind.
You wouldn't say mankind, that should be, you know...
I wouldn't, just because humankind is a more accurate descriptor, in the same way that me using they, them is a more accurate descriptor of my identity than using he or she.
Would you use homo sapiens?
I very rarely in my life use scientific language to describe the people I work with.
Wise man, it means. Okay. But it's something, do we need to think about that?
I think we certainly should
Reclassification in
be
biology.
thinking about the evolution of language to support gender neutrality.
Yeah, got you.
And that's for a number of reasons. The first of which is that it stops this assumption that either the most important people in the room are men or that the only people in the room are men. And secondly, it does include that wider spectrum of gender. There's an excellent quote by German linguist Louisa Pusch, who says that gender and language should be both comfortable and fair. And she was referring to German, which is one of the most strictly gender-codified languages in Europe.
German.
And English is not...
What's happening in German?
So German has a grammatical gender and a gendered pronominal system. So they use gendered pronouns and they have gendered nouns, and that's supported by the wider grammar of the language. But actually the German state is encouraging lecturers, professionals and industry to use gender-neutral language.
God, I might
a great
have got an A
example
if that had been back.
is in students. Well, so in the universities, a bit like the University of Hull, universities in Germany,
Wow.
their lecturers are using
I didn't know
gender-neutral language to refer to students because it's inclusive of everyone and gives that space for trans people who are neither male nor female.
Yeah, it's a matter, Andrew, there you are. It's a matter of courtesy, this, and sensitivity, isn't it?
Courtesy is all very well. I mean, you're describing encouraging people to use certain words. My problem is when words are policed, when language becomes policed. That is my problem. I mean, if it's, look, we can all go back to... We can all go back. Those sorts of things, humankind or mankind, I mean, those are sort of interchangeable now. They're synonymous anyway. We're talking about when people actively, and it is a minority of activists, it really is a minority, seek to have people disciplined or sacked because they refuse to use language that they are imposing. That's not the evolution of language, that's the imposition of language, and I think that's problematic.
I think it really depends on the context. So you may, for example, be perfectly grammatical.
But I wouldn't say, you hear what it said. That's rude, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say that it is dehumanising.
Yeah.
It shouldn't ever be a voice for the entirety of the trans community. Some people may self-select to use it,
Right.
but it in general is quite a dehumanising approach.
Isn't this actually bad for women? The suffragettes would be appalled about this, wouldn't they?
Well,
They want
ultimately,
women
it's
to be
an
noticed.
opt-in
They
and a
want women to
fluid
be out
structure.
there. They want women to achieve and for other women to know that they have achieved.
It's really about something.
What about people who are non-binary? What about people who are gender fluid?
We're all male and female. We've always... Yes, of course, we're all male and female. There are
What about
tiny,
transgender people?
There are a tiny minority of people who have intersex conditions, and there are a tiny minority of people who have some condition where they may have a female brain and a male body. Apart from this, we are all male and female, and the attempt to suggest that there is a third gender is, as far as I'm concerned, it's an ideological and a political project. It doesn't exist. The words male and female have existed throughout history, throughout the world. They refer, men are people who have penises, women are people who have vaginas. It's as simple as that. I would absolutely refuse to refer to this woman here, who's clearly a woman, as a they, because for me that would be imposing an ideological political system. Because she is. If everybody watching this programme can see that she is a woman. And
But that's
that
your,
is
I think
imposing.
that's your problem. I think that's actually your
imposing.
problem. You're imposing.
No,
actually.
you
Yes.
are asking me to engage in an ideological, political system which I disagree with. I believe we are all male and female, and I
what they
refuse...
should be called is imposing an
that's-
ideological system.
No,
I really want
it
to
is
come
not.
back and
It's
address
referring to a
just some of the
reality.
scientific
I'm off for a
inaccuracies
cup of
of
tea.
Your respect for me is already diminished if you insist that I ascribe to some ideology of third gender, which I do not agree with. If this he and she is socially constructed, how come everybody watching this, everybody in the audience, can basically identify male and female just by looking? Occasionally there are people who are more difficult to identify, and we try to be tactful, but it's not just socially ascribed. It relates to a physical reality reflected in our voices, our appearances, in all kinds of ways.
Isn't life a great spectrum? No? Don't you think? Someone must agree with me. Who wants to say something? You want to say something in a grey jumper. They want to say something.
They, yeah.
Are you they, or do I say she wants to say something?
I am a female. That's my belief
Do
system.
you want me to say she wants to say something?
And that is fine. However, the idea that you're saying that if this person chooses to say that they are they, that you can't engage with that because of your belief system. We live in a culture where lots of people have lots of different beliefs, as is very, very clear on today's show. We cannot say, I have this belief system, so therefore I'm going to impose it on everyone. In this, you can't do that. Like, she has a particular... They have a particular...
There we go.
Look, at least I accept that.
You know, this idea that there is an imposition of it, some people might say, well, when councils are doing it, or when universities are doing it, it is something of an imposition. And some people might be afraid to embark upon a sentence and then walk through eggshells until they get to the end of the sentence in case they say the wrong thing. And so it's not exactly liberating, it's constricting, isn't it?
Well, it's liberating people that are vulnerable.
Peter, now you work for the Daily Telegraph. I want your mission next week to go to the Telegraph and to convince the editor to use gender-neutral language from now on.
Nicky, the truth
How will that go down?
The truth is, the Telegraph pretty much does use gender-neutral language. It doesn't use they, but it uses firefighter and it uses chair. Truth is, language is organic. It reflects the society that it comes out of, and you can impose bits of it, but ultimately, is they going to stick as a personal pronoun for one person? I kind of doubt it, because actually that's not how most people see the world. And I think we're kind of right on the margin here. I'm father of 2 daughters. I think actually firefighter is better than fireman.
Yeah.
My 2 girls, if they want to work in the fire service, terrific.
Because it's accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should get too hung up. If you want to tie yourself in knots, ultimately, the arbiter of whether that works or not will be the way people use language, and they will accept it or reject it on a basis of common sense, because there's nothing more utilitarian than language.
And quite happily...
Belinda.
We mustn't lose sight of the fact that language does refer to a reality. As a writer, I'm very aware of this. It's very important. He, she refers to a male and female reality, and I think that there is something very serious at stake if we really do start eroding concepts of male and female.
Guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this clusterfuck of a video. I'll be posting more videos in the future. Please put a like, and if you really like my channel, then please subscribe. Alright guys, Boomsy out.